Hey everyone, welcome to the Trendcrusher podcast. I'm Peter K. This episode's all about death metal again. I've got German death metal act Cytotoxin. I speak to their frontman Grimo about their latest album Biographyte, which is out right now. But before I get into that chat, I'd like to play a track by Catatonic. They're all the way from Shillong. Some of you may remember this band. I spoke to their vocalist Nansung a few months ago, and also Nansung's the vocalist of Godless. They've released an EP titled Gardenia last month. Here's the track from it, Wither. And that was Wither by Catatonic. Do check out the band. They've got CDs and t-shirts out. I'll leave the link in the show notes as always. Now on to my chat with Grimo from Cytotoxin. Here it is. Hi Grimo, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Peter. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. And the reason we're talking is because your band Cytotoxin is releasing their fifth album, Biographyte. So,
Yeah.
How does it feel now that you're like a few days away from the album release?
Yeah, I think I am start to getting a little bit excited because it's not only that we release this record, it's also we doing like I would say a German tour to play the songs live on stage. So it's always something else to prepare a record release and also a tour. So we spend much time to prepare all the equipment we need for the stage and all the light show and stuff. So it feels right now that the day maybe needs 1 or 2 extra hours, and in the evening nothing is left. But that's part of the game. We all love it, and we are happy to do this. Otherwise, it's not good to be bored, sit around and count time. So in this case, we're really excited to see the reactions, to the new stuff, and also how the people react when we perform the songs live, because it's always something else. Because it's kind of surprising over all the years when you uh, make music and you may be fully convinced about the songs, and then you play it live and you realize the crowd react, I would say, in a different way, or maybe pick songs for their favorites you never expected. So it's I would not say it's jeopardy, but maybe it will be kind of surprising. So I'm looking forward to see the reactions. Right now, I'm just looking forward and a bit excited.
Awesome. So we'll definitely touch upon the tour later in our conversation. But the reason I also have you on the podcast is I've been very like curious about the band, right? And I've been following you for over, I think, like at least 5 to 7 years now, around your second album time. And also because I
I mean,
have,
it takes some time for us to make the records. And after we released Radiophobia, it took us 5 years to make Gamageddon, the third record. Um, um, Maybe it was the space in between Radiophobia and Gamageddon, or Gamageddon and Nuclear Earth. I do not recall right now, but it took us 5 years to make a new record, and this time it was the same, also 5 years. We had some issues on the way. We had to have a new drummer also, and it's not that easy to make this kind of complex music. And of course, it takes some time to make it. And I just realized that people are complaining also. Oh, you can release new stuff, new stuff. And yeah, but it takes some time to make this kind of music,
yeah,
especially when you're dealing this topic. Yeah.
no, definitely. I'm very curious about your entire process. But the thing I wanted to say was, I remember, I think this was around the time also I started being more active on what's now X, but Twitter, and
Yeah.
kind of following a lot of blogs and forums. And that's where like a lot of word started spreading about Cytotoxin, including like where some of my friends were like, holy fuck, have you heard this band? Like, we have no idea how they're this brutal, right? So that's why I was like,
Yeah,
wait,
of course, it's always I would say aim to be brutal, but also it's I think the DNA of the band is to make music that works on CD and also at live shows.
hmm,
That when we reach out for new people in the crowd that maybe never saw Cytotoxin on stage, and even if they don't feel attached to the music, they feel like entertained by our live show. I think this is the balance we try to keep, and also the work we spend on the project to keep up that balance. And of course, this also needs time. It's not just the music, because, like you said, you in the internet, you can see in forums, you can see on pages, everybody is doing everything, but it's something else to perform it on stage, because then you can't hide something or you can't cheat that way, maybe without telling that everybody has like a bad intention for the music. But it's always tough and needs training for everybody of us to perform this music on stage. It's like a challenge, like maybe also a competition. And yeah, but right now we feel ready for this, because now, like I said, we have a new drummer, and so we feel like enforced. So we have a squad that works and has energy, and because new drummer also has a new style to play also the old songs. So it feels also some kind of refreshing to play the old stuff with a new member. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I want to say to this.
cool. So one thing I must, really commend the entire band, right? As someone who's very into stuff around wars. One of my favorite bands actually is Bolt Thrower. No surprise. Even bands like Hail of Bullets and stuff like that, right? I mean, I'm not sure if you've heard. There's another band which is no surprise again called 1914, which is again
Yeah.
themed around war. So the lyrical content also kind of appeals to me, and y'all have been very consistently releasing music which is largely around the fatal incident that happened at Chernobyl power plant in 1986, which is actually the year I'm born
Yeah.
also, so some kind of
It's
strange
also mine.
connect.
It's also mine. It's also mine. My year of birth. Maybe it is part of the reason why we took the topic, and I'm not sure.
Okay.
And we live in eastern part of Germany, so we are pretty close to the reactor. Maybe this is also kind of a reason.
Okay. But
And
I,
yeah,
I know
so
maybe you're tired of answering it, but what was
no, I
something
expect this
about
question. It's okay.
okay, but what really? Because I mean, like for me, I get it, and I understand when you're saying it, but especially when you're looking at something like this, right? Uh, why first of all write about something like this? Especially, the strange thing is, I always say is that we don't learn from history. I mean, look at what
Yeah.
is happening in 2025, right? And look at the political situation and stuff like that. You may, if you just swap the years, you may think we're still back in the 80s and 90s, Cold War time and stuff like that. So, what really
Yeah.
attracted you to write about this topic?
I mean, like you said, we have to answer these questions sometimes. But I do not recall what was the main reason why we choose the topic. Because I realized we had our first rehearsal with our former drummer, the first one, and also Fonso, the guitarist, is also my best friend. And we made the first rehearsal and we realized when we do music, it will be quite brutal, technical, high-speed stuff. And somehow we saw the link in between this kind of music and Chernobyl, because the Chernobyl theme or the topic for us, it's like everything happened too fast. It was like a train crosses upon you, and humanity was not ready for this. Like you said, it's not able to learn out of these mistakes. And this was something we felt attracted to use as our topic because we could combine it in a lyrical way and also use like samples. We could use like the gas mask for the stage show. And so it felt unique. It felt like one big part of us. And for me, I'm the one who writes the lyrics. It demands much time to prepare the music, to prepare the lyrics for the music. And for the first CDs, it was an easy job, so to say, because I just reported what happened. And then we moved on to, I would say, more like dystopic version of this, like to tell about future stories, and also picked like actual events. For example, Fukushima, and was also part of our lyrics. And now we reached the point where we have like it's more like a poem or like a video game, like a version of a theme in your own way, without being like disrespectful. To tell about like zombies or mutants you have like in Stalker or in Metro, all the games that dealing with topic. So it's like a thin line to tell the stories without being disrespectful. That means I have to be like quite accurate, even when I tell my own story. So, and I realize it's still many stuff to tell about Chernobyl because right now we like digging into the theme. The way over the years we're digging into the theme over all the years. I would say we're gaining more information and more like all the details. So I would say right now I would have like lyrical stuff for two up to three upcoming albums. So I hope we still keep going with the music, writing stuff, because it's still many stories to tell and many ways to approach to the topic. Right now we took like a desert theme of this, like a nuclear atomic desert, and the next one maybe will be something else because you have to change to evolve, and it's still a trip. It feels amazing, and now we reached a point where we can use our freedom as an artist to tell the story in our own way. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that and not feeling bored to kind of answer that
No,
question,
no.
right? Because at least on this album, and I'm quoting the press release where you said we wanted to explore our roots and take listeners on a journey through the radiated waste land of Pripyat. And I've actually heard of a band with the name Pripyat, so I was kind of heard
Yeah,
of the
it's
place
it's it's,
before.
al- it's also, sorry for interrupting. It's a German band actually,
Yeah.
and they have
Okay.
also Chernobyl, and it's like a thrash metal band, and it's funny that they're also from Germany. I'm not sure if it's a German issue, but right before you told me about the other bands that have like this, I would say, strong lyrical content, and I just maybe are familiar with the band, also from Germany. It's Kanonenfieber. I'm not sure if you know the band. It's some, yeah, I would say blackened metal, and they are quite famous right now. And they have the theme of the First World War, and they also transport the message and reporting out of the sight through the eyes of the soldiers. And it's also something I really appreciate how the bands put effort of telling the story. And because that's necessary that you won't forget. And maybe this is the foundation that we will learn out of our mistakes maybe one day. So, because I know that it demands time and passion to have this kind of lyrical content and to deal with these topics because it's not easy. You make a song about, like, for example, World War, and somebody like has its own intention about the lyrics, and then starting to talking shit about you, and so it's not easy to deal with all this, and I really appreciate that bands are brave enough to do this and not just swim in the river and take the topics that many bands take. So yeah, it's something else, and I'm still motivated to stay on this way we have right now.
Sorry, can you say the name of the band again? You mentioned the one that's current.
It's Kanonenfieber.
Ah, I just got a press
Yes,
release by them today also.
yeah, you should check it. I really recommend it because I'm also in contact with the musicians as itself. We played some shows with them, and nobody knows their faces. They're hiding
Yeah,
it, and
yeah.
for now they're quite successful in hiding themselves. Maybe let's see one day they got revealed, and yeah, it's amazing stuff. It works, and I just can recommend that you check it out. It's
Okay.
especially
So
the latest record.
yeah, they have a live album coming out, so I'm gonna check that out. But
Yeah,
okay, coming back to what you we were discussing, right? So
yeah.
since you kind of touched upon this, I want to dive a little bit more, right? And more specifically with your latest album, Biographyte, how do you kind of approach the lyrics for the album, right? I mean, is there a certain kind of, research that you do, any certain sources that you kind of go in to kind of look in? And now you've actually said that you've got material for like a couple of albums more. So if you could just kind of talk about how you approach that.
I have some close friends that doing some trips to Pripyat and telling me about the situation, how it is to be there, and they're recommending me books and poems and stories and stuff. So I take this, and I would say I use this over all the year. So if there is something I would say I could use for lyrical content, I just write it down. And that's also the reason why my lyrical work this time took, I would say, about 1 year to have enough stuff to make songs out of it or song lyrics. And it's always the aim of us to have like a concept album, to have like I would say same theme over all the songs. And this time I just read books about people that make like a tourist guide through the city and describing how it is there. And so on this record, I tried to make also like a trip that you have like different spaces. For example, the hospital where they treated the firemen that were ordered to get to the burning reactor, and they come back with the acute radiation syndrome, and it was unable to be like treated. And so I told a story about the hospital or about the radar station. So it's like, and you walk through the whole town, and I had also the idea to make like for the lyrics or the booklet to make like a map, but it was not easy to do this, so I just threw this idea off. And yeah, mainly it's like reading books. It's talking with people that are really there to get their intentions, to get their feelings about the town, because for now I was not able to be there for myself. And yeah, and also it's for me like when I just write the lyrics, um, I'm listening also to soundtrack from Stalker, from Metro, to have like this vibe, this synthy stuff, and have this dark atmosphere that helps me to find words and to combine it. And usually my lyrics are quite long, and then I do the pre-production with my friend Fonzo, and he is shortening the lyrics, like he's doing the essence out of, he's squeezing the essence, and so he's also a big part of making the lyrics, because he knows what works and what is also sounding good, because it's always our mission to have like good, strong sounding stuff. And it's also the same topic for choosing an album title. We're looking for like Radiophobia, Gammageddon, Nuclear Earth, like one word that's strong, and in the best case, a word that doesn't exist until now. So that we have like also our unique word. And at this time, it's also again like it's the combination from biography and graphite. So we make like Biographyte, because I remember it was not we were not common about that title, because I just heard the idea that not everybody was convinced about the title, because it's not easy how to pronounce the title. It's also a problem, but we just grow into it, and right now we are convinced about that title. Yeah, it's the same like for the lyrics. We have like this discussion, and yeah, then we have the result.
Okay, so before we go on and talk more about the album, right? I thought we'll play a track from it. Which song should we play and why?
I would say you should play. Maybe if you have time for a longer song, you should play From Bitter Rivers. It's the last song on the record. Or Bull Overdosed. These are I would say, from my intention, my actually favorites. And especially From Bitter Rivers, it was, I would say, the most complex song we had, considering the structure of it. And during the pre-production, when I added my vocals, there was like a structure. And it's an epic ending of the record, so I would recommend that one. And Bull Overdosed, for me, it was so fun to do this, because it was actually the first song I recorded for the record. And I recorded each song 3 times, or in 3 sessions, to make all the details and to make it best sounding. And I really love the second half of the song. It's so powerful, and also the way I just made the vocals. So I would recommend one of those 2 songs.
Okay, I think let's play Bull Overdosed, and then maybe towards the end, in a fitting way, we'll end with From Bitter Rivers. You can introduce that track again.
Echoes of your spirits, and on the edges, I wish I would curse.
and that was Bulled Overdosed of the latest album by Cytotoxin, and I've got Grimo from the band with me. Now, one of the
Hello.
things I wanted to also talk to you about, right, is just the entire process, because I didn't realize it had been 5 years actually, honestly, since y'all released an album. But what I did realize is y'all released a single all the way in October last year, which was
Yeah,
Hope Terminator. And that gave everyone like a taste of what's to come of the album. Um, so how long have you all had this album ready, and kind of what was the plan to kind of release it? Was it always going to be April this year?
yeah, it was the plan. But when we released the first single, it was something to say, hi, we are here, we are still active, radioactive. And because I just realized people starting to get concerned that there was no live signal of our band. We just performed on stage, but the people were suddenly asking if they're still making music. It was something, okay, we make a single, we try something new. And this time it took way longer to prepare the album promotion because we made also the music videos, made a lot of stuff by ourselves, preparing all these videos we have for the album making of for our YouTube channel. And so we took the time to prepare the release as good as we can because we, yeah, I would say it's in not in a digital way. We would do it like for us, it's like a self-release. So we have much stuff doing by ourselves. So maybe that's also the reason why it took still some time to announce the release date, but it was fixed on April. And yeah, this time it's something else because we spent a lot of time for the, like I said, for the music videos and to prepare to write script, to train with actors we had for the Hope Terminator video, and yeah, that's also the reason we released the making of that everybody can see how much effort we put in the videos, especially from our sides. So maybe that's the reason why it took some time. Yeah, but that's nothing bad.
Okay, fair enough. Now, one of the
But I
things.
always, I, I just want to say, I always promise it won't take us 5 years again to make a new record. That's what I can promise. I hope so. I promise it to myself.
Awesome. Okay. So, you know, fair enough, right? And especially considering like the extensive process you go through for research and stuff like that. But I also realized you're self-releasing the album, and there's a lot of kind of promotional material. Before we hit record and got on this chat, I was actually looking at your YouTube, and you all have put together like these cool making of videos on YouTube. And I was watching specifically the one with you recording vocals. Do you want to talk about your unorthodox method of recording vocals this time around?
Yeah, I have an unorthodox way to make it, but Fonzo is also a big part of this style I have because he's like pushing me to doing this stuff. He's like supporting all the stuff I have inside, or the vocal styles. I have to say, it started in the usual way. We did a pre-production, and during the pre-production, we realized, okay, maybe we can do it by ourselves. Because I have to say, honestly, I love to be in the studio, but it's like vacation. I cook for everyone and I care about anything. And beside this, I'm doing some vocals in the vocal chamber. But I only have like 4, maybe 5 days to record all the vocals for the record. And I have to say, for me, it's kind of stressful, and I realize it's not good for my voice, considering that I left some potential because I would try things out, try different styles, and try to play around with my voice. But that's the reason why we use the pre-production with a bit better microphone to try to reach the quality level and also have like better vocals in the kind of how I sing. And after we made a second session for each song with a better microphone, we just thought about maybe use a different interface. We did it all again. So it was really tough, but this time it took us, I would say, 1 up to 2 months to complete the vocals. And that's something else considering it or compare it with just 5 days in the studio. And when I listen to my vocals on this record, for my intention, of my opinion, you can hear the difference because there's, I would say, more characteristic in it. And when I listen, for example, to the earlier albums we did, like Radiophobia or Gamageddon, I would never do this vocals this way again because I would think it's more interesting, not only hitting the spots to have more characteristic in the vocals. So it's for me also a process to be on the next level, know what I can do with my voice. And I'm happy we're choosing this way to do it by ourselves. And this is no offense against the studio, but I realized that this works way better for me and to have this quality of the vocals.
Yeah, and I must just to kind of further add, I liked the bite from Mandel, who mixed your album, saying that y'all didn't tell him which kind of preamp and setting and everything that y'all use. So he was also kind of surprised equally by it. So that I think was
Yeah,
kind of fun. But okay,
it was amazing just to add to this topic. It was amazing to work with Mandel together. And I just can say it's maybe not sure when you release this, but this weekend there will be another making of part, production and sound with Mendel, a lot of Mendel stuff. And it's just amazing, amazing human being. And he was adding his personal note to this workflow, to this teamwork. And yeah, it's also part of the quality we reached.
awesome. I'm definitely going to add that to the show notes along with the making of your vocals so people actually understand how you recorded it. But okay, on to some more fun stuff, right? It's no surprise for those who follow you that you'll actually have a gas mask survival kit as merch, right? Uh,
Yeah.
it may seem like too forced, but I think I'm pretty sure there are people, and especially, I mean, considering where I live in India and the air quality condition, you might end up needing something like that. But what's other wacky or crazy merch that you all thought of, especially keeping in within your theme?
I mean, the gas mask, I have to say, it's quite famous in our, I would say, fan community. And back in the days, we just sent this gas mask all over the world, worldwide with filters. But there were some, I'm not sure about these restrictions, but there were some restrictions that not allowed us to use the filters. So we just sent it worldwide without filters, unfortunately. But it's quite funny how many people want to have this gas mask. There are people that are using it just for putting it somewhere in their living rooms. Others use it for projections for our shows. And of course, it's always a thin line. You have like the serious topic, but you want to entertain people to open them up for the topic. And in my opinion, you first need this connection. The best way to connect is to have fun and not to make fun out of somebody else, to enjoy the moment. And when I just went on stage doing the sound check and I see people just preparing themselves with the gas mask, I realized this would be a very good show. And I really appreciate how the people just living this stuff and want to collect. We have like special collectors editions with Azimuth suits we had with gas mask. Now we have a little barrel you can use for your table when you have a dinner, something else to feel like warm and comfortable. It's not a real fuel rod inside, but I'm always making fun out of this. Especially we have like these barrels on stage with the fog machines. Just tell the people it's not real. It's looked like, but it's not real. I know I have to make fun of ourselves without being disrespectful, to keep up the good vibes, to connect, to use the moment and make memories out of moments. That's actually my theme I want to transport. Yeah, I'm happy that the people are somehow accepting this and also buying this kind of merch because that keeps our band alive. It's all of it because when we talk about the merch, it's also something we're doing all by ourselves to handling all the pre-orders and you have to pay a lot of money to have this stuff, and then you send it around. And so it makes us just happy how the people reacted to our music and supporting us this way. It's really necessary, and that keeps motivated to keep going on this way.
Okay, fair enough. And you will have an opportunity not only to put on your show, but also have people again, get a chance to put on those gas masks in a
Yeah,
couple of
of course.
weeks from now. We've got Gutalax and Necrotid. You're touring across Germany with them. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the whole tour, but something special for me will be our hometown show, because right now I'm sending from Chemnitz. It's my hometown, and it's the place where we founded the band. And I would say we had like over all the years, we had like 3 or maybe 4 shows in Chemnitz, because I would say there's no metal scene here in this town, only old people. I would not say that old people are doesn't part of the community, but when we play the shows, you have always the same people coming to the shows over all the years. And this time we play in a bigger venue, and this show is almost sold out. And it's amazing to play in our hometown, the new stuff, with that much people coming to the show. So I'm looking forward to that pretty much. And I'm also looking forward to be on the tour with Kutalax, because they are really good friends of us, and they have, I would say, of course, we're making different music, but they also have this kind of, we like dressing up with the hazmat suits. We have gas masks. They have like tool cleaning equipment. Maybe it's it's not the same, but they always also have like this fun part of community that supports the band that way. So I'm really looking forward to be on stage with them. Of course, on some shows we play after them, so we have to clean the stage, maybe from all this toilet paper stuff. But I'm really looking forward to this, because they're really funny people and also good musicians. They know how to activate the crowd and to handle them. So yeah, maybe the Chemnitz show, because it's my hometown, it's the one that sticks out for me a bit. But I'm looking forward to be on the road with the guys and with the new stuff.
Awesome. And what more can you share the band will be up to in the rest of 2025? More shows, more tours planned?
Yeah, maybe we have some stuff we're talking about. Like maybe last year we went to the USA for the first time, and there's still some concepts to touring, like the USA. United Kingdom is a place we've been there for many shows in the past, but now it's been a while, and we still have single shows. But for now, I cannot release something official. But we have still touring plans. We're working on it, and I hope we can announce it soon. But there's still something we cook, and I will announce when it's ready.
Awesome. So definitely more to keep an eye out for from the band.
Of course.
And don't worry, I hope it's not going to be 5 years later that we speak again for a new release. Hopefully sooner than that. But thanks so much. And for everyone tuned in so far, any final words?
It was amazing to meet you. It's also something I would say it's some kind of development over all the years. Now we do like this kind of interviews, getting in touch. It's to meet you, and it's nice to hear your intention, your opinion about the music, and just want to say thank you that you're recommending our music to your community. And like I said, I promised you we will speak, and not just in 5 years. And I keep my word. And for now, thank you. And never forget Chernobyl. And please come to our live shows to create memories out of moments. Thank you, and I wish you just the best.
All the best, Grimo. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
Before we wrap up this episode, here's the closing track of Biographyte. Here's From Bitter Rivers. and that was from Bitter Rivers of the Cytotoxin album Biographyte. Hope you enjoyed the singles that I played from the album. As always, check the show notes for details on the album and merch that the band have, including the very cool gas mask that they have on sale currently. Before I sign off, as always, leave me feedback. Let me know what you think of this episode. Get in touch if you want your music played. Just search for me. I'm Trendcrusher on all social media platforms. Or you can get in touch with me via email, trendcrusher@gmail.com. That's all for this episode. I'll see you all very soon. Cheers.